everybody, this is Miss Margaret for the Chattanooga Public Library, and today I'm doing Preschool Storytime. That's for kids 3 to 5-year-olds, but if you're younger or you're older, you are welcome to come. And first thing we do is we ring our bell. Are you ready? Oh, you know what that means. Come on in. We're talking about gardens today and growing and vegetables and stuff like that. Maybe you have a flower garden or maybe you have a vegetable garden. We're trying to grow at my house. We're trying to grow strawberries and tomatoes, and the squirrels are eating the strawberries. They think that we are growing them for them. And my husband gets frustrated. But maybe you're growing something at home. I want to show you some books that I'm not going to read today, but we've got so many good books about gardens. This is called Dig In. And look at this. This is a beautiful book. Up in the garden and down in the dirt, because the dirt is very important. And this is Two Tall Houses. This is a new book, and they are fussing. The rabbit and the owl are fussing, and they need to learn to get along in the garden together. And this is Lola, who's one of my favorite, Plants a Garden. And the last one I have is upside down, and it's Plant the Tiny Seed. I like this one too. This is Plant the Tiny Seed by Christy Matheson. And you can actually she's going to tell you to do some actions, and you can do them. And it's put out by Green Willow Books. Plant the Tiny Seed. Here we go. There's magic in this tiny seed. Press it down and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Plant another and then one more. Press them down and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wiggle your fingers to add some water. We'll pretend that's water. Got a water. That's enough. Next, rub the sun to make it hotter. Oh, they're coming up. Tap the cloud and wish for rain. Oh, I wish for rain. Clap to bring the sun again. Clap, clap. We need rain and sun. Ah, find the worm. Look for its tail. Can you see it? Shoo away the hungry snail. Shoo, 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 shoo. Shoo, you can't have that. Tell the little bud good night. Good night. Guess what you'll see in the morning light. I can't wait. Wow! Now point to the purple flower. Buzz, buzz. Now tap the cloud again. Tap, tap. It's another rain shower. And you got more flowers. Touch the blossoms gently, please. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Ooh, now jiggle the plants to scatter the seeds. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Scatter the seeds. The purple flower needs a clip. Swipe across the stem. Snip, snip. Close your eyes and wave your hands in the air. Did that. Oh, look, there's magic everywhere. The end. And on the back, it's got instructions on how to plant your own tiny seeds. I like that book. You can check this out and actually do all those things. We wiggled our fingers and we touched the cloud and we snipped the flower off. Very good. Plant the Tiny Seed. Next one I'm going to read is My Garden by Kevin Hinkes. And she has got a different kind of garden. Now, let me tell you, that's why I like this book. My Garden by Green Willow Books. I love the bright colors, don't you? My mother has a garden. I'm her helper. I water, I weed, and I chase away the rabbits so they don't eat all the berries, the lettuce. It's hard work, and my mother's garden is very nice, but if I had a garden, there would be no weeds, and the flowers would keep blooming and never die. Woohoo! In my garden, the flowers could change color just by thinking about it. Pink, blue, green, purple, even patterns. And if you picked a flower, another one would grow right back in its place. In my garden, the rabbits wouldn't eat the lettuce because the rabbits would be chocolate and I would eat them. If I planted seashells, I'd grow seashells. If I planted jelly beans, I'd grow a great big jelly bean bush. Sometimes in my garden, good, unusual things would just pop up. Buttons and umbrellas and rusty old keys. In my garden, there would be birds and butterflies by the hundreds, so that the air was humming with wings. It's beautiful. The tomatoes would be as big as beach balls, and the carrots would be invisible because I don't like carrots. At night, the morning glories would stay open, shining like stars, and the strawberries would glow like lanterns. It's night now. Only the fireflies and the porch light are glowing. Before bed, I'd take one seashell from the shelf in my room and go to the garden. I poke the seashell into the ground. Who knows what might happen? I cover it up with dirt and pat down the dirt with my foot. She planted a seashell. "What are you doing?" asked my mother. "Oh, nothing," I say. "Just working in the garden." The end. Oh, and look, there's the shell with a root coming out of it. I like that book. She's got chocolate bunnies, and she's got seashells, and she's got rusty old keys and buttons, and she's got a jelly bean bush. I like that book. Little Sweet Potato by Amy Beth Bloom. Look at the little sweet potato. Okay, it's put out by Catherine Teagan Books. Oh, look at that little sweet potato. Let's hear about this story. Once upon a time, there was a little sweet potato who lived in a garden patch where the earth was rich and brown and the air smelled sweet and spicy. He had never been anywhere else at all. There he is. Just as little sweet potato was beginning to get a peek at the world around him, there was a terrible quaking and shaking, and everyone in the garden patch held on to their vines for dear life. Little sweet potato got shaken loose and landed. There he goes. He landed plop in the middle of a new and not so nice place. Where am I, he wondered, and how do I get back home? And how will I know home when I get there? And there was no one to answer him. Little Sweet Potato pulled together all of his sweet potato courage and went rolling over to a garden patch at the edge of the road. "Excuse me," Little Sweet Potato said very politely. "Do I belong here?" And what are these? Carrots. They looked at him. They looked at one another. They fluffed their leafy green tops and wiggled their long orange bodies. "We think not," they said. "You are lumpy, dumpy, and we have to say it, you're bumpy. You don't belong here." Little Sweet Pea rolled away as quickly as he could. He didn't know the world had such mean vegetation in it. Trying to be brave, Little Sweet Potato rolled off to another patch, hoping things would go a little better and be a little nicer. "Excuse me," said Little Sweet Potato. Do you think there might be a place for me in this garden?" They're purple. See them? They looked at him, and they looked at one another, and they said, "Well, let me think," the biggest one rumbled. "Nope." See, we're handsome and purple with skin like satin, and the fact is you are dumpy, bumpy, and kinda lumpy. What I'm trying to say is, pal, scram! And little sweet potato rolled away. He didn't know the world had such scary vegetation in it. Those eggplants. I had to check with Brooke about that. I'm down but not out, said little sweet potato. And even though his feelings were mashed very soft and tender from all the rough handling, he rolled himself to the edge of another garden. Excuse me, he said, do you think maybe I could move in next to you? Oh my goodness, they giggled, their long green arms covered with their velvety blue and yellow faces. Oh dear, we don't think so. You're not even a flower. You're a lumpy, bumpy, dumpy vegetable, and we're beautiful. No offense. And they waved goodbye as little sweet potato rolled off. Oh, I feel sorry for little sweet potato. The rest of the day was just as bad. Bunches of round fruit, shiny and bright as green marbles, told him to get lost. Grapes. Pink and puffy and sweet-smelling flowers with soft petals and sharp stickers told him there was no room in their garden. Tulips. Curvy green-striped vegetables with bent necks and beautiful yellow flowers told him to shove off. That's it, said little sweet potato. There's just no place for me. I am all alone, he thought, and one big tear rolled down his dear, bumpy, lumpy sweet potato face. Oh, hey you, little sweet potato. Yeah, you, Bumpy, Bumpalicious. Who, me? Little sweet potato didn't know he was being called. Was he a sweet potato? Was he Bumpalicious? You're sweet, you're neat, and you've got that gorgeous sunset color. You're a sweet potato. Now roll on over here. Little sweet potato did roll toward the voice, his little sweet potato heart beating fast. It said, hodgepodge patch. Excuse me, he said when he got to the patch. What for? We're just so glad you found your way back home. A lumpy, dumpy, and wonderfully bumpy sweet potato said very kindly. Home, said little sweet potato. He felt himself glowing as brightly as the sun. I'm home? Absolutely, said the big, bumpy, and magnificently lumpy sweet potato. And in the world's greatest garden with fruits and vegetables and some flowers so fancy even I don't know what they are. Some just like their own kind, one of the pansies said sweetly, but we're the kind that likes all kinds. You're so nice, said little sweet potato. I met some flowers who looked just like you, but they weren't very nice. Some are, some aren't, said a friendly carrot. We are. That's how it is, kids, said a gleaming eggplant. It's not all much and sunshine out there. Oh, I know, said little sweet potato. All kinds, said the big sweet potato, teeny and tall, big and small, fat as a ball and skinny as a stick. Of course, I happen to think lumpy, dumpy, and bumpy is especially nice. Me too, said little sweet potato. At least he thought he said it. He was getting awfully sleepy. He rolled into the patch on a spot that seemed just the right size, little sweet potato size. He nestled into the rich brown earth and gazed at the sky and the trees and the vegetables and the flowers, and he settled down with a smile on his sweet potato face. How wonderful to be a sweet potato. How wonderful to be home at last. Somebody put a blanket on him. That's a sweet book, isn't it? This is a flannel board called What Does a Bunny See by Linda Sue Park. In a cottage garden, flowers in their beds, bunny hopping down the path. What she sees is red. Blushing scarlet poppies bloom just above her head. In a cottage garden, past the pussy willow, Bunny nibbles tender shoots. What she sees is yellow primrose that are nestled low in their leafy pillows. In a cottage garden, hear the water burble, Bunny drinking from the stream. What she sees is purple. Purple? Violets nod their heads in time to the songbirds wobble. In a cottage garden, ears and whiskers clean, Bunny finds a patch of lawn. What she sees is green. Green! Grass is growing lushly with clover in between. In a cottage garden, plip and plop and plink, Bunny freezes, twitching nose. What she sees is pink. Water lily landing pad and bulging eyes that blink. In a cottage garden, peeping from below, Bunny sees a cheerful color that begins with O. Orange. Freckled tiger lilies dance, putting on a show. In a cottage garden, can she wiggle through? Bunny digging by the fence. What she sees is blue. Morning glory's yawning wide, Bunny's yawning too. In a nest of grasses, snuggled warm and tight, Bunny dreams a rainbow dream, colors blossom bright. Now I'm going to do Fran's Flower by Lisa Bruce. One day, Fran found a flower pot filled with soil. Poking out of the top was a tiny green tip. I will grow this flower, Fran said to her dog Fred. So she took it home. Grow flowers, she said, but the tip stayed tiny. I think this flower is hungry, Fran said. So Fran went to the refrigerator. Inside, she found some of her favorite food. She gave the flower a slice of pizza. The next day, Fran gave it a piece of two cookies, chocolate chip. 1, 2. Then she gave it spaghetti noodles. Yum. And last, she gave it a big scoop of strawberry ice cream. She even gave it one of Fred's dog bones. But the flower didn't grow. The tip stayed tiny, and Fran got fed up. Silly flower, Fran said, and she threw it out the back door. The flower pot fell onto the ground and rolled away, and the rain fell on it. See the rain? And the wind blew on it. Ooh, the wind blew on it. All kinds of weather. The wind blew on it, and the sun came out, and finally the tiny green tip grew and grew and grew until one day Fran and Fred went outside to play. And when they opened the door, a surprise was waiting. A beautiful flower just for Fran. Okay, that's the end of Preschool Storytime. We talked about flowers and gardens, and I don't think that a pizza is going to feed a flower. Bye.